Hello and welcome back to Coloring with Haley. It is the moment you've all been waiting for. It is my completed book flip through of Jade Summers' Chibi Girls Grayscale, 2 books in 1. The original Chibi Girls 1 and 2 together. I bought this when it first came out. And since the original listing is gone on Amazon, I can't tell you when that was. 2018, 2019, maybe. And I colored a few pages in it then. And I started 2021 with, I think, 24 pictures colored in this book. And then I made the biggest promise to myself ever that I was going to finish this entire book in 2021. The remaining, 25 or so images that I had left. And it was difficult, but I did it. So we're going to do a completed book flip through, and some of these pages you probably haven't seen in forever because I completed them years and years ago. And mine is spiral bound, by the way, because I colored in this book so much that it started to fall apart. So I had to get spiral bound. In our very first page, we start out with Chibi Girls 1, of course, and we have the fairy. This page is okay to me. I'm not a super huge fairy fan. So it wasn't a page I was super excited to color, but I still do like how it turned out. I'm actually going to do the pages like this because I think it's a little bit easier. There is glitter, of course, on her wings and on the wings of all of the little butterflies in the picture as well. I had to do a lot of glitter on this one. I do think that after I colored the picture, this pink strip here was actually supposed to be this other side of her dress. When I first colored it, I thought it was hair. So she's got kind of some weird kind of hair thing going on here. But that's okay. And I did give her different colored eyes because she's a fairy. You know, she can have different colored eyes if she wants to. And then there's a little bit of white paint on the squirrel's teeth and the owl's talons. And then I used my Milky Pop gel pens to do all of these little teeny tiny flowers down here because they were sort of infuriating to color in alcohol marker, and I got mad and gave up and did it in gel pen instead. But I think it looks just fine. This is an older picture, and this was actually my first ever picture to be featured on Jade Summers' Facebook page, and I was really, really excited about that. I thought that was super, super cool. In fact, I know this is an old picture because this was when the original Suicide Squad movie released, because I did her hair like Harley Quinn. I did the pink and the blue hair and then the blonde. So that's how old this picture is. But I am very happy with how this turned out. This kind of I think she's supposed to be in a Lolita fashion, which is a very popular fashion style in Japan, and she's got little cats with her. So I kind of did light pastel-y colors. I kept up with the pink and blue on her outfit. It's one of the first times I used paint to do lace down there at the bottom of her dress and on the top of her socks. The cat also has a little bit of paint on his head there. And I did her eyes two-toned as well because it's very popular in the Japanese Lolita fashion to wear colored contacts that make your eyes sort of pastel colors and all kinds of crazy colors. And then, of course, glitter on the beret in her hair, glitter on her dress, glitter on the gold, on the dresser, and on the clock. It is everywhere in this picture. Then we have my little vampire page here. I also think this is one that I colored quite a long time ago, but I cannot remember. I did my little vampire blue because I want to do something different with the vampire. This one was really simple, though. This one didn't have a lot going on in the picture or in the background. They also, again, have two-toned eyes. I guess there may have been a point here where I was really into doing two-toned eyes, because hers are kind of lighter and then darker, and then his are lighter and darker as well. Who knows what I was thinking? This was so long ago. But I do have a little bit of glitter on the mirror back here and on her jewelry. And just a little bit of white paint is in the window here and on their eyes to kind of separate the light and dark parts. But this one, like I said, more simple page, kind of not a lot going on in this one. Then we have my ballerina here. And I didn't want to do the ballerina in pink like everyone else had. So I did her in red. And she's got gray hair. I'm still not so certain what these are supposed to be back here. I don't know if they're supposed to be decorations on the stage that look like clouds. I don't know if it's like a dance studio and these are like the mirrors. I have no idea. So I just outlined them in glitter that was gold and called it a day. But I am kind of thrilled with how this turned out. And then we get to my little witch page. I know this one was an early picture, and you know how I can tell? I colored the background. That's how I can tell it was an early picture, because you guys know I don't color backgrounds anymore. This was just like a solid background, and I actually colored it. I also didn't do the smoke and green paint, which also tells me it was an early page, because if I did that nowadays, I would have totally done that all in green paint. But she's got her little toad here on her hat, and I did her in purple and green. She's got her little black cat down here. She's stirring her, like, toxic green soup, whatever she's making. She's got a little bit of white paint there on her eyes. And there's, like, a little bit of green paint in the actual soup or stew itself. But I know that if I colored this, like, recently, I would have done the smoke and green, too. So it has to be an older one for sure. And there's a bit of glitter on her outfit as well, and on, like, the bubbles in the soup. This is probably one of my favorite pages, even though it is an older one. I just really like the color scheme I picked for this, and I like my little toad and my little cat hanging out as well. I know for a fact this one is older here. This is an Old West style picture that I colored after playing Red Dead Redemption 2 because I was just in the mood for something Old West style. And I'm happy with how this picture turned out. This one is really, really nice. I love the red that I used on her dress, and I kind of carried that over into the wagon here. And this one has a lot of gold glitter on it. All of the accents here on the wagon I did in gold glitter. And by the way, I know I haven't said this yet, all of these pages were colored using Cali Art, Ohuhu, and Spectrum Noir markers, just in case you were wondering what the alcohol markers were. All of them are colored with those very specific markers. So back to looking at all that glitter, and there's a little bit on the gun here too. And there's just a little bit of, I actually think this is white gel pen rather than paint because of how faded it looks on her goggles there and in her eyes. But yeah, super, super happy with this one too. Super cute. And this one was a more recent one. I know I colored this one last year. We've got our angel lady. I think she's meant to be an angel here with these birds. And I did like a very warm color scheme because you'll see for the next picture I did a very cool color scheme. And I think I colored them in the same month, and that was my idea, was to do one like warm and to do one cold. So this has paint on it everywhere. Red paint is outlining all of these little pink clouds. And I did the sky orange because why not? I was doing warm colors anyway. So I was like, yeah, okay, it could be like a sunset. And I did her eyes two-toned. One of the first times I brought back that's from years ago. Red and pink, and she's of course got on a pink outfit. I did her feathers red. I actually think when I colored this that I wasn't like aware that she was supposed to be an angel. And I think I might have thought that she was a bird, which is maybe why I used the warm color scheme on this one instead of the cool one. But yeah, it worked out, I think. And there's like hardly any glitter on here. I can kind of see it in the hearts in her eyes. But that's such a small spot of glitter that I'm not sure it'll really show up on camera. And then we have the cool one. Here we go. This is my alien lady. I think she's supposed to be an alien. I'm not sure. But she's like a little bit like Sailor Moon, a little bit alien. She's got her little dragon here. She's on like an alien planet with a green sky. So I did the clouds with green paint. We've got like gray rocks down here, her blue hair and her blue skin. And the blue fire, I'm really happy with how the fire turned out. I had never done a blue fire before. And of course, as I'm moving the picture, you can see all the glitter. The big jewel on her head and the outline of her outfit there. They're all done up in glitter. We have a little Gladiator Girl. I'm not sure if this one was recent or not. And I can't exactly tell by looking at it. I did outline the clouds in white, so it had to be more recent than some of the other ones, but I don't know for certain if it was colored last year. She does have the two-tone eyes, so not certain. But this one was really fun to do. This one was kind of detailed. A lot going on in the picture, a lot going on in the back with the grass and the flowers. I kind of did her in like a traditional color for a gladiator that you'd think of, you know. They've got the gold and the red. She's got like her little silver shield there, which has some glitter on it, and so does her helmet, and so does her sword. And then I've got a Cowgirl page. And again, I don't know if this one is recent or older. I did do the clouds in blue paint rather than white, though, which is nice. I like that. And she, again, has two-tone eyes. They're orange and yellow. So I want to say it's older. It must be, because I'm looking at how I did the bandana here. I had white dots in there rather than filling in the entire circle on the bandana. I just kind of, I just kind of dotted them. So I think that current Haley would have colored those in a little more, so I'm going to say it's older. We do have glitter, though. It's on her belt and on her spur. And then we have the last page I colored in the book, my mermaid page. This one has a ton of paint on it. There is all of these bubbles outlined in dark blue paint with white paint dots all throughout. And my dolphin is highlighted in white paint, and her tail is highlighted in white paint. And there's a bunch of glitter on here too. The pearls or bubbles on her outfit are all glitter, and so is her jewelry. And there's even a little bit of gel pen on here. I'll have to hold it up because it's such tiny spaces. The coral has some bright pink gel pen dots on it because it was such a small space to color. I felt like I couldn't do it with alcohol markers. We have the Explorer, which I know I colored last year. Like our little Indiana Jones type girl here. We've got my blue snake here in the corner. I did her in like your typical kind of explorer outfit you always see sort of in this cargo pants kind of look with the green and the brown boots and our little mouse in the corner. She does have some glitter on the picture, though not a lot. I just did it on like this pot down here as a little bit of detail. There is white paint on here. I did her shoelaces in white paint to make them stand out a little bit. And then there's some red paint around the fire as well. I know this one for certain is an old picture. This pirate girl here. Because I did this in like mainly Spectrum Noir markers. And looking back, I'm thinking that this probably should have been sky shining through the wheel, but I made the wheel solid, so oh well. I think this might have been one of the very first pages that I ever used my Sparkle Pop gel pens on. I'm seeing that I used it in the eyes of the skull up here and on some of the treasures down here. And this may have been one of the very first pages I used it on. I'm thinking that. I did do like a very dark, broody sky back here, like it's about to storm on the ocean with our dark clouds and our dark ocean. There's some white paint highlights on her sword, and I outlined the little skull on her hat in white as well. I did some white paint on her eyes. She's got her little parrot there. And then we've got Cleopatra, or what I'm calling Cleopatra. She's got her little kitty here. I am happy with how this page turned out, by the way. This is another one of my favorites from this book, for sure. I wanted to use, like, all yellows and blues, minus, you know, the skin and hair on this, because it's kind of just... I associate these dark and bright blues with Egypt for some reason. I think maybe they used it a lot in Egyptian art, or maybe I'm imagining that they did. I don't know. But I used a nice sandy color for the hieroglyphs back here, and I used a kind of gold color to do the vases and this big throne that she's sitting on, and I wish I knew exactly what marker color that was, because it is a very nice match for gold, I think. And of course, there is glitter on this page. It is on her jewelry. And there's a little bit of paint. I did like highlights on some of the jewelry pieces up here, and that's all. Then we have our, like, pop star on stage. And I did her in green and pink, which is kind of an interesting color choice thinking about it now, but that's a decision I made, so, you know, that's the decision I made. And I used white paint to do these stars. I used it in her eyes. Once again, she has the two-tone eyes. And I did some highlights, and of course there's glitter on some of these light sticks down here to make them look like they are lit up. And then on the hearts in the background here, this like hearts hanging off the stage, like some kind of decoration. And then the stars in her hair as well. Definitely a choice on the palette on that one. This one was more recent, as in, like, I think I colored this in maybe October or November. I did this one vampires. He was not a vampire originally, but I did draw in his little vampire teeth. And the reason being, this painting that I ended up just kind of doing in a solid color because I didn't want to do, like, all the little detail in it, is the cover of Jade Summer's Vampires book. And I was like, why would this guy have a giant painting of a vampire in his house if he wasn't a vampire? So I made him a vampire. And then he's got, like, his human bride here. And there is white paint on the lace of her outfit. I even did some on his shirt collar, everywhere. Of course, I used white paint for his fangs. And then I used glitter for her jewelry and to do like a gold frame around the fancy vampire painting. This one is an older page. This is my little Native American girl with her wolf. And I like how this one turned out. I can tell this one's an older page because I used big markers for that. I know those colors. The Fire's done in big markers. And actually, her dress might be too. I definitely recognize that as being big markers. And I did use white paint for the smoke. And this is really laid on thick. So that might have been one of the first times I experimented using white Posca to do smoke. Because that is like icing on there rather than paint. So I'm guessing that must be one of the first times I ever did that. And there is a little bit of, yeah, this is an older picture because where this is shiny here is a metallic gel pen rather than being one of the Sparkle Pop gel pens. So it may not really show on camera. It looks like it might show a little bit down here. That's metallic. That's like a metallic jelly roll. But this picture turned out really cute. I like it. I think she is inside a little hut or either sitting right outside of it. Not sure. But I do like how it turned out. This one was more recent. This was like my biker Barbie page. That's what I called it because I did her motorcycle and her little get up all in pink and she's outside the Whataburger. I really like this one. This one was really fun to do. I'm not even like a big fan of pink, but I just love how this turned out. And I used a lot of white highlights all over her bike and on her outfit. You can see them on her helmet, especially on like the visor part of her helmet. I did the parking lot with white over like the big P parking spot. It's on the clouds. This one had like a lot of paint on it. And there's like just a little bit of glitter on this here. It's on the little girl here on like the bike. And then it's on the little heart hanging off of it there. We have this page here, My Girl in Paris. And this was actually a redo of the very first time I colored this page. I had like the original Chibi Girls grayscale before they released it as a 2-in-1. And this was like one of the very few pages I had colored out of it. And I couldn't come up with a good color scheme for this page when I colored it. So I thought, what if I just redid it the way I did it the very first time around? So that's what I did. That's why the dog kind of is like a little bit weird there with the dark red and the pink. I did choose like a weird color scheme back then, but I just wanted to redo it because I thought it'd be really fun to do. And so I have, because back then I used to do dots for stars, so I'd have that. I even have like a little shooting star here. I kind of stopped doing that. I decided I didn't like it. And I've got some water here. And of course, the dog's like leash and harness are done up in glitter. Interesting color choices again, kind of before I really got the hang of color choices, but I did just want to emulate that page for some reason. I just thought that'd be really fun. This one is recent. My little mafia girl here. I did this page, well, I mean, the book is already in grayscale, right? But I like colored the grayscale in grayscale. I thought it would be really cool if this page was like a black and white picture. Like a black and white picture from the 1920s. So that is what I did. It's all done in gray and white. And her pants, the pinstripes on her pants do have some white paint on them. Her little gun here has white highlights. And then the, like, flash of the gun is in glitter. This one I really like. I don't know why. It was really just fun to do this in, like, grayscale. Next up we have my little cheerleader. And I'm not a big sports person, so she's not particularly done, like, to celebrate any sports team. She's just done in colors that I liked. And she's got glitter on her pom-poms and on the confetti in the background. And there is white paint on the field here. I'm not sure what this was supposed to be back here because one side's wider than the other, but I did make it like a field goal in football. I guess it could have been like a big scoreboard or something too if you wanted to write the letters in. I had no clue what it was supposed to be. Again, not a sports person, so I was like, yeah, let's make it a field goal. And then we have like my Indian or Middle Eastern princess here. This one was more recent for sure. Love how she turned out. I gave her black lipstick and I'm happy with that choice. Lots of glitter on her though, on her dress and on all of the jewelry she has all over her head. And I did actually pop out those metallic gel pens again after not using them for years to use them on the candlesticks, and then I remembered why I didn't like them. I just don't like how they look. But this was nice. I used a lot of warm colors on this one. I'm happy with that. This is a very early page, I know that. This is my Magician Girl. And I didn't want to do it in red. I didn't want to have a red curtain. It had to be different. So I did it in green. And then I was like, let's do her in green as well. And for some reason, her outfit kind of reminds me of Willy Wonka. I don't know why. But, so she's kind of like my Willy Wonka magician with her dark brown coat there. And I even did a couple of, like, little pink bunnies, because they're magic bunnies, right? So you can see I've got a pink bunny peeking out there and one there. This doesn't have any glitter or any paint on it. It is just straight up colored, and that is it. And I know this one was recent as well. This is my celebrity getting out of the car to like walk the runway for the movie premiere on the red carpet in Hollywood. And I know it's recent because I used yellow Posca paint and I only got that as of October. So I had to have colored this in like October or November. And I used white paint on the clouds back there, highlighted some of these poles that have got the ribbon on them, and then used glitter on her dress. Gold, and on her shoes, blue, and on her jewelry, blue and silver. Happy with how this turned out. I didn't base her off any particular celebrity or anything. I just colored her, you know, how I was feeling that day. And I was feeling like doing a blonde girl with blue eyes. This one is also more recent and may have been for Easter last year. My Bunny in the Field page. I did the clouds in blue paint. I probably would have done the water had I colored it like more recently, but I didn't. So definitely probably Easter, maybe even Easter the year before that, not sure. But I did her in like a pink bunny suit because I made my bunnies more natural colors because there's like a little white bunny and then a brown one and then a gray one. So I wanted to have some fun and make her like a pink bunny outfit. And then all of the bunny tails are done with white paint to make them look all nice and fluffy. No glitter on this page though, just paint. And then we get into Chibi Girls 2. So, the next 25 are all from Chibi Girls 2. Here's my Surfer Girl. I know I did that one this year. And I did like a sunset in the background, an orange sunset, rather than making it a clear blue sky. And I kind of did like a funky teal color for the water, just because I thought it was fun. And I have used blue paint for all of the lighter, like foamy parts of the wave here. Not sure what you'd want to call that, but you kind of know when the waves go over, there's like the white foamy water. That is what I did the blue paint over, also here where she's splashing the water. And she does have some glitter on her outfit here. I love her hair color. Her hair color is really, really good. And then she's got some white paint on her goggles there too. We've got my little school girl. Not sure if this one's recent or not. That's a good question. She is got glitter on her ribbons in her hair and white paint on the white part of her outfit. And then I kind of just went for like a, I guess I would say really a bland background here. I just did grays. Like a regular old school hallway with the white lights there. Not white, yellow. But she does look cute. You can see the glitter there in her ribbons. This was another one that Jade Summer featured, and I was really excited about that. This is like my fancy Victorian era kind of lady. And I did the white paint on the outline of the fan here, like a fur kind of outline there. And I used glitter for like her eyeshadow for one of the first times. And I used it on like a little bit of the jewelry that she's wearing, and then some of the jewelry here that I thought came down on the dress. And I used yellow to do her dress. And yellow is like not one of my favorite colors, but I thought that yellow looked super good with her darker skin tone. And then blue in the background, because I think yellow and blue go together so well. And then there's of course a little bit of paint back there on the window too. Let me be right back because I hear the dog downstairs wanting something, so I'm gonna go see what he wants. Okay, well, I'm back. That was fast. The door to the upstairs had closed, and the dog was upset that he couldn't get up here. He's not even up here. He just wanted the door to be open, I guess. But yes, this was featured by Jade on their Facebook. Then I have my two little girls here from video games and TV. This is Samus, and this is a girl from an anime called Evangelion. This is Samus from Metroid. I based their outfits on... Oh, now he's up here. On the outfits that they actually wear in their respective media. So this was a fun one, too. And I did this one last year. I know this for sure. You can see glitter accents on their outfits. Especially on Samus. I did more on Samus for some reason. And you can see white on their outfits, too. The paint. I kind of wanted their outfits to be more like robot suits than like the skin tight kind of superhero spandex thing, so that's why I did so much paint. I want it to look a little bit more like metal and robotic. I know I did this one this year too. We've got our girls having a pillow fight. And I used green. I used a lot of green on this picture. I was just feeling the green that day, you know? And I used a lot of white paint to do all of the feathers. Sorry, I'm trying to see what the dog is doing. He didn't want up here, now he's up here, and now he's like rooting around. Back to the page. A lot of white paint on all the feathers, and I think the feathers turned out really, really good. And they have glitter on their little pajamas too. Hearts and dots all done in glitter. And she's got glitter on her bow and her hair. Finn, what are you doing? And this one here is probably like my all-time favorite page that I did. This is like my girl training up in the dojo. She's getting ready to take somebody down, like maybe the leader of a Yakuza group or some kind of like superhero dragon guy. She's getting ready to take him down though. Like, you know, she's kind of going like all Kill Bill with this. She was super cute and she turned out so well, and I love the framing of this picture. I like that you're kind of on the ground looking up at her at an angle with the circle dojo around her. This one was just really unique and fun to color. She's done up in blue with all of these blue glitter accents and gold glitter accents. She's got these beautiful pillars back here, and then the lanterns have gold accents on them as well. She's got her sword over here that you know she's going to use. Just love this page. And there's white paint on like the window back here. This is an older one. This is like my little girl here in Alaska hanging outside the igloos. I remember this page because I had at first done her outfit in like a really bright orange color, and I was like, no, that doesn't work. And so I went over it in a darker brown, but it still turned out okay. I did the snow on the mountains in white paint, and I'm very happy with how those turned out. This also may have been one of the first times that I did snow. I know I did the icy water down here with blue paint. And just a little bit of glitter on the dog. Just a little bit on his collar. That's why kind of she and the dog are similar colors, because I colored the dog first in a kind of brown color, and then her outfit in orange. And I was like, no. I gotta find something dark to go over that. So I went over it with, you know, a dark brown. If I colored this page today, I probably would have done the dog in like a gray or black or something to contrast it a little bit. This one I did this year. We've got like Oktoberfest is what I'm calling this page, is Oktoberfest page here, because she kind of looks like she's in like a little German sort of get up. And they're all drinking beer and everything, so it's got to be like Oktoberfest. This is where I used a lot of white paint. It's all over the lace here on her dress. It's in the reflection of the windows. I did all these glasses in white paint so that they actually looked like, you know, like a see-through glass. I did the ice in them as well, and then I colored the ice in a lighter color so it also looked like ice. I did the foam on this beer. Yeah, I totally used a lot of white paint in this picture. And because I used a lot of white paint, I didn't really use a lot of glitter. It's on her necklace there. And it's such a small spot that it really may not show up on camera. But this is another favorite for me. And then we have a ghost. And you guys all really like this ghost girl. I went a little heavy on the like eyeliner for her eye makeup, especially on this eye, but that's okay. I did this girl in blue paint, like all her skin and all her hair, to give her this ghostly vibe. I don't think that this page was originally a ghost. I think it's just supposed to be a girl like walking around her creepy mansion. But I made her a ghost because I thought, why not make her like a ghost in a ghost mansion? Carrying her little like raven in his shiny cage with the little gold key that goes to it. And I used white paint to make this sort of look like a spider web on her hair from her hat. And of course there's white paint back here in the windows. But yes, I used a lot of blue paint to do this kind of ghostly effect for her. And it turned out really, really well. And I ended up replicating this in Chibi Girl's Horror for like an actual ghost girl. We've got my like female Legolas here hanging out in the woods. Got a little elf girl. And yeah, of course when I see elves I think of Lord of the Rings. So I had to do her with blonde hair. But she turned out really good. And I like how my trees turned out too. And my mushrooms, I did purple mushrooms instead of red, but I used white paint on them as well. And then she's got glitter on her outfit. She's got just a green and brown outfit, kind of doing like a lot of forest colors there. I wanted to match with the forest. And then the little butterfly there is glittery too. This is my cat girl. And this is when I learned a valuable lesson about letting paint dry. She actually has a hole in her tail here that is covered up with a sticky note that I painted white, so it doesn't look like it's there. But I learned a lesson about letting paint dry before you add more layers to it because it might tear the paper a little bit. But yes, this is my little cat girl on the floor. I don't know what's going on. This picture's kind of weird to me. I don't know what's going on in this picture. I don't know why she's like a little bit too feline for me. She's not like a cute girl with just the cat ears in her hair. She's a little bit like a little too close to being an actual cat for me. But yeah, and we've got like my little aristocrat cats back there from the Aristocats. I can't remember all of their names for sure. I only watched the Disney movies that had animals in them. And then she's got some white paint on her tail and on the lace there. And a glitter in the ribbon in her hair. And then the female Aristocat has glittery collar. But again, I cannot remember their names. We have my Jogger. This one was recent. I did this one last year. I remember doing this one. And I've got white paint on the clouds, white paint on her earbuds there, going down to her iPod, and on the shoelaces. I like doing my shoelaces in white paint because I think they look really good. She's got her little dog here. I kind of got into a habit of coloring dogs gray and black because of Finn. So I always do my dogs gray and black for Finn. And then just a little bit of glitter is on the dog's collar right there, like where you would connect the collar to a leash. That's the only glitter on here. I used... Oh, wait, no, it's not. Whoa, no, it's not. Her iPod is glittery, as you can see there, and so is her earbud. I almost said I hardly used any glitter on here, but no, there it is. And I also gave her a funky hair color just for fun. This was a very recent one. We have my Firefighter girl here. She turned out really good. I used the traditional red Firefighter uniform. Just a little bit of glitter here on the star, on the hat, but a lot of blue and white paint to make the water look like that. I outlined it with the blue paint and used the white paint on the inside. Again, kind of reminiscent of what I did with the waves on the surfer page. I was thinking about the way water actually looks when it's spraying out of a hose like that. How you kind of get the foamy white water and then the actual blue water. And I also used some white paint down here on the road. And a little bit of a gel pen to do like these random scraps of paper that are in the road. I guess maybe being blown back from the pressure coming from the hose. And then we've got a Skydiver, and for once, and like only once, I didn't do all the clouds in paint. There were just a lot in here, and when I did the Skydiver Girl, I just wasn't feeling it. This was also a really fun page to color though, because the Chibi Girl is kind of in like a different pose that you never see again. It's just sort of her face. So this one was really fun to color. And I kind of did just some wacky colors on here again because I thought it was fun. No glitter and no paint on this one though. Like the only page that has neither on it. This was an earlier page, my girl in the bubble bath with her cat down here. And I did all of those bubbles in blue paint and some of the waves in the water in white paint and then like blue on the window because I made it dark outside. And even my bubbles that are like floating around up here are done in blue paint. And my candles, this is one of the first time that I started using glitter gel pen to do the candles to make them look like they were actually burning. You can kind of see in there. This is a fun one though. I like my pink bathtub and I like my water. We've got our golfer girl here. See, even this one has paint on it. It's just very few of them that don't. The clouds, I managed to do paint on those. And of course her little shoelaces. And in her eyes. And the highlights there. And then one golf club is glittery. I just decided to make one glittery rather than all of them. Just kind of like a little detail for fun there. But this one was more of a simple page with not a lot going on in it. This one was a recent one. This is my Maid. You can tell which ones are like more recent based on how much white paint I put on them and which ones were like further back. All of these ruffles, white paint. Here, 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 here. All of that is white paint. And I did the glasses in white paint as well. Because like I said previously on the Oktoberfest page, I just think it makes them look a little bit more realistic, like a little bit more like our actual see-through glass. And there was glitter on the jewels that were kind of set in there, and then a little bit on her Maid outfit. I did her up in red, though, because I didn't want to do a traditional black Maid outfit. And there's glitter on the, ooh, what are those called? You reveal the food underneath it. The silver thing. They got a funky name. But I did glitter on that as well. And I'm happy with how this one turned out. I like the red Maid outfit. This one is another one of my favorite pages, my Purple Dancer Girl. If you saw my year in review, you saw this page in there as like my favorite page out of the book that I did this year. And I love this one. I used purple paint for the first time to do the smoke coming off the dance floor because I did like a purple club. I just thought it would be fun, you know, just a purple club. I like the color purple, so that's kind of why. And I really love how my lights turned out. I wanted these lights to look like they were on and shining on her. So I outlined some of it with white paint, and I did a lighter purple color on the inside. Like if, you know, they were white lights, the purple wall behind it, if you were looking straight on, it would be a lighter color like that. And then I did use glitter on the bulbs themselves to make them look like they were on. And she's got a little bit of glitter on her jewelry down here. And I even gave her little Converse All-Star shoes because I used to wear those all the time. And there is white paint, of course, on the shoelaces. But yes, this is one of my favorite pages just because I love how my lights turned out and I like my purple smoke. You can tell I'm kind of losing my voice from talking so much in this video. This is my Business Lady. This one is more recent. I used red paint to do the open and sail on the door here. I even wrote in like a little license plate number on this car's license plate just because it was blank and I thought it needed a number. I used white paint to highlight the mail. I used it on the big highlights here for the door, and that may be it. She's got a little bit of glitter on her watch, and on her pin there, and on her jewelry, on her shoes. And I used yellow gel pen to make these look like sticky notes on the ground. Like maybe they had blown out of her bag or something. Because she's clearly like, you know, on her way to work in a hurry. Maybe before this picture she didn't have it closed all the way, and some of them kind of blew out onto the ground. So this one was really fun and really cute. This one is the most liked on Instagram out of all of my pages that I've posted out of this book. So you guys really like this beach page. I don't know why. It's fine. It's like not my favorite. I don't know what it is that you guys love about this one, but you guys love this beach page. Maybe it's because I think I posted it in like February and we were all thinking about the warmer weather. But I did use white paint on the water back here, especially where the boat is kicking it up, and some highlighting on the ball. This is one of the few times I didn't do the clouds in paint, but I did do glitter on like the umbrella here, and on some of these seashells, like down here at the bottom and that one there, those are glittered up as well. But this one kind of, I used a lot of muted colors on. This one I did in October for my own birthday, and I used purples and greens because those are my favorite colors. And I kind of made her look like myself, although you would never see me in a dress and heels. So I used a lot of green paint to do decorations on the cake. And then I used green gel pens to make the candles. I used regular glittery gel pens for the flames and for some of the decorations back here. I used it on the birthday button and the watch. I used white paint to once again do a cup of water and the ice, and it's done in paint as well. And then we have our little nature photographer here. That's totally me, except I don't really take pictures of birds. I take pictures of snakes and frogs. But this one was really cute and fun. And the white paint is just on the lens here and on her shoelaces and in her eye, and I don't think there's glitter on this one. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. There is white paint on the clouds though, but no glitter. Just a girl taking pictures of the birds. This one was from this year. This is my school teacher. Love how this one turned out, especially the chalkboard. I outlined all of that in white on the chalkboard to make it look like it was actually written in chalk, and it turned out so good. I also outlined the little paper airplane in white, the papers down here, and I once again did gel pen to make these like little sticky notes that the kids had like thrown on the floor and everything. And I gave her gray hair because my favorite teacher was Miss Grayson, and she was an older lady and she always had long gray hair, and so I kind of modeled her off of Miss Grayson. This turned out really good though. This one was recent. This is my beauty salon page. I did this one in like a bunch of fun, funky colors for a beauty salon. And this one has a lot of glitter. Her scissors are glittery. And then the girl down here that just had her hair done. And I can't tell, by the way, if she looks like she's shocked and it's happy or it's bad. But she's got glitter on her outfit as well. And a little bit of white paint on the windows. And here, there was sort of like a shimmer on the tip of the scissors. Again, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Perhaps she is about to really botch this girl's hair. I don't know. But I did do that in white paint to represent it. This is an old one, or a girl at the spa. This one was really fun to do. I love the bamboo in the background. I did a bit of white paint in the water here, where like the hot towel's setting in. Glitter on the butterflies. Glitter on the candles. And again, just a muted color palette. This was Princess Peach, and this one is more recent. I did this one in December of last year. Thrilled with how this turned out. It's Princess Peach and her mushroom castle. Mushroom castle. I made it look, you know, exactly like the castle in the Mario games. And Princess Peach has white paint on this big highlight in her hair and on her gloves. And then Princess Peach has totally got a ton of glitter on her outfit, if you can see all that. And then I used regular gel pens on the flowers in the bushes because they were kind of tiny and intricate and detailed. This is an older one. We've got my diver with the rainbow fish. Did you guys ever read that book? I made him the rainbow fish from the cover of the book. I don't know. He just looked like exactly like that fish to me. This one was done in a very dark color palette. No idea why I chose such a dark color palette. But I did use blue paint on the bubbles coming up here and white paint on her goggles and glitter on my little rainbow fish with his rainbow scales. And then I've got my Runaway Girl that was done in December. Lots and lots of white paint to do the fur on her outfit. And I think I made an interesting color choice on the background, but I do like it. I did pastels because I wanted to initially do it in just all gray. And I was like, no. Force yourself to pick out some different Spectrum Noir markers and do something different. And I'm happy with how it turned out. And she does have glitter on her outfit as well. I'm kind of getting a little faster here at the end because I'm seeing how long this video is turning out to be. So we've got our girl in the garden. This one was more recent. White paint on the shoes, in her eyes, gel pen on the flowers, glitter on the like beret in her hair there. Little hair clip that she's wearing. And this one was cute, but more simple. I didn't use, you know, a lot of paint highlights on this one. And the very last page here that kind of has some paint smudges on it because I totally smudged the paint up a little bit is another one of my favorites. This is like my Samurai Girl. And this was back when I was still doing the dots to do stars, but I think it looks okay here. Lots of white paint for the water here. I made the cherry blossoms there. White paint for the water that's on the bridge. Even though paint is smudged on here, she still turned out super cute. I really like this one. And that's it. That's the whole book. That's all 50 images from Jade Summer's Chibi Girls Grayscale 2-in-1. Thank you so much for watching this extremely long completed book flip through.